How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having an awesome week. I am finally getting around to running my bastard whiskey wash through my pot still. I've done 2 stripping runs already, so I've got around about 40 litres of about 16% alcohol. It is ready to run. Let's go get it done. How's it going, everyone? I'm Jesse, and this is Still at the Channel, all about chasing the craft of home distillation and making it a legitimate hobby. Just wanted to say real quick before I get stuck in, welcome to all the new people. I know there's a bunch of new people around the channel. Some have come from Looney Larry, and some have come from the Whiskey Vault. For people that are new, I would love to hear from you. Let me know where you came from, how you found the channel. It'll be really cool to know. Today I'm finally doing the spirit run for what I've been affectionately calling the bastard whiskey. And I'm calling it that because it was supposed to be an all grain, but it didn't turn out quite like that. If you guys want to catch up and you haven't seen the video already, I'll stick a card up top for the mash I did for this whiskey. Since we left off in that video, I've done 2 smallish stripping runs, both about 40, maybe 42 litres each. So both of those stripping runs are in the boiler, along with about 15 litres of just straight wash that didn't fit into the stripping runs. I had a little bit of problem with puking, so I stayed kind of low on the volume side for the 2 stripping runs. And that's why I've got about 40 litres, I'm not sure exactly, to be honest. Anyway, the heat is on, and that is going to take probably about another 45 minutes from now. In the meantime, I've got a little plan. I think one of the biggest downfalls from my last spirit run, and you guys told me this as well, was that I didn't take enough notes. And I think I've got a plan to make that a little bit easier for me. So, I'm going to get that done while I wait for this to heat up. Hey, there we go. So, I'm thinking that gives me somewhere easy to write everything down. I can photograph it at the ends and throw it into the folder with everything else for this run. It's the Bastard Whiskey Wash, 42 litres at 15%. Power on at 1:30, and it is now about 45 minutes later, so we're getting close. Alright guys, it is now 2:15. I think I'm a couple of minutes away from a little bit of action, so I'm going to cut power on one element and turn the power way down on this element. Alright team, so there we have it, the first drips coming through. I've got this element turned down as far as it will go now, so I think I need to adjust my SCR or work on that, because I would like to be able to get that a little bit lower. But anyway, I guess I'll roll with it for today. I'll get back to you when I'm finished taking off the 4 shots. So I have taken off around about 300 mils of 4 shots so far, and they're coming off at about 75% by the look of it. My laser thermometer tells me that I'm at 18% if I test the hydrometer, and 19% if I test the copper right at the end of the spout. I figured why be stingy with the 4 shot, so that is more like 600 mils of 4 shots all up now. So we're almost done with jar number 1. The alcometer is still resting on the bottom, and it is saying a touch over 70% now, so we're still getting a fairly high ABV. I'm not going to really bother tasting or smelling this, probably not for another jar or 2 yet. Just for your reference, it is now right around 3 o'clock. I think I'm hitting the ends of the heads right around here. I've got one more small container on the still at the moment that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to start going back towards bigger containers. So I poured and proofed down 3 little samples from jar 3, 4 and 5. So 3 to me still has some of that fake sort of fruity, estery, it's almost fig-like actually, but it's almost fig-like, but it also has a lot of that fake banana and still a touch of that nail polish remover, so that's definitely, I'm calling that head still. 4 is much easier on the nail polish remover, and it's starting to head from fig towards more almost raisiny sort of flavour. And number 5, so the fake fruit flavors are gone, or aromas are gone. Raisin, but also almost like fresh cut grass. That's really interesting. Alright, so I'm thinking this is the beginning of my hearts. I'm not getting prickly heads anymore. Actually getting a hint of smoke, which is really cool. I'm amazed by that, especially this early in the run. It's more of the phenol smoke, not the actual smoke, perhaps. Maybe, actually that might be the Belgian yeast. Almost like Band-Aids, but not, sort of medicinal. phenols, sort of smoke flavor. Cool. All right, so I'll call that the cuts, and I'll be really interested to see when I come back in 24 hours or so whether or not I got this right. But that's actually kind of tasty. I don't mind that at all. I just took an ABV reading on jar number 7, and it looks like the ABV has dropped to about 69%. This is heading more towards sort of raisiny, satanery, full buttery actually, really buttery. Interesting. I've just finished filling jar number 12, and I'm starting to get a hint, just a touch of tails coming through in that. I just want to keep my wits about me from now on in. I'm going to start taking probably half jars, just so I can make these cuts a little more accurate if I want to. I gotta say this surprises me a little bit, because I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 jars of hearts. I guess it is a pot still run though, so that makes a little bit of sense. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to keep on trucking. Seeing as there are quite a few new viewers here on Still It, I just figured I'd give you a really quick rundown on my still, in case you're interested and you can go back and check things out. I'm using a 50-litre converted beer keg as a boiler. The awesome crew over at English Hill Distillery totally hooked me up with that. I'll stick a card up top for that, you can go check it out. I ended up building the still myself out of copper and stainless steel, a couple of parts off AliExpress and things like that. It's a CCVM still, which is cool because you can run it as a reflux still or as a pot still. Right now, obviously, it's in pot still mode, but if you want to check out the build videos, I'll stick a card up top for most of those as well. I think perhaps after I've run this thing a couple more times, it would be a good idea for me to do a still review. That's not a review. I guess just a dedicated video to the still itself, to show people sort of exactly what it was, how it was made, and how they can go about building one themselves as well. But if you are new to this and you think you're getting into it, a CCVM still's probably not a bad thing to check out, because it's easy to build and it is very versatile. You can run it as a true pot still, and you can also run it as a true reflux still. Anyway, back to it. This is jar 17, and it's dropped down to about 49% now. I've been doing half jars just to make it a little bit easier to blend the more funky tails flavors. That's the plan anyway. I don't know whether you guys do that or not. Let me know, that'd be cool. I know it's really early to go saying how this went now, and this is obviously a product that A, needs some time to breathe before I blend it, but also needs a whole lot of age and some wood on it as well. But I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised so far. Yeah, jar 6 through to 12, it's really quite smooth and approachable. But there's a whole lot of complexity and different flavors coming through in different times too, which is really fascinating and really exciting. When I get to blend this, I'm going to have some serious decisions to make. The way I see it, I can kind of play it two ways. One, I can play it super safe and maybe just sort of use jars sort of 6 through to 12 or something like that. Or I can go hunting for some more flavors, more towards the heads and more towards the tails. It looks like, for this run and for me on this still, that more of the fruit flavors are sitting towards the heads. So prune, fig, red apple, hint of apricot or peach or something like that. The further I go back towards the heads, and then now the tails are coming across with more of the earthy, grungy, smoky, ash, charcoal, wood smoke sort of flavors are starting to come out more and more the further I get into the tails. So I don't know if that's normal or not. Let me know what you guys experience with this. I haven't found any Manuka flavor anywhere yet. I mean, obviously there's only a kilo of Manuka malt in there, so that's probably not going to happen. Right now, I think I'm steering towards being really super cautious of the head. I seem to be able to taste heads a lot more than tails, and then go diving into the tails for a little bit more complexity and flavor. That's what I'm leaning towards. Let me know what you guys think. So I am thinking that perhaps it was a little bit of a mistake doing these half jars so early. And I say that because I was kind of expecting it to get nasty fast, and it really hasn't. There are some flavors in there that I don't like, but they haven't escalated really quickly. And I'm thinking that's because I was sort of stuck in reflux mentality. As soon as I started noticing those tails flavors hit, they came on with a rip and a roar. But let me know what you guys think. I hope I don't run out of jars now. I measured the jar before this one and we're down to a little bit under 30%. So I think I'm probably going to take one, maybe two more jars. And after that, I think I'm going to bump the still up a little bit, push it a little bit faster, just to collect some faints. It was definitely a mistake doing half jars that early on. That was silly of me. I don't know what I was thinking. Luckily, I have a few fancy glasses we can use. Don't tell my wife, all right? So thanks for hanging out, guys. I really enjoyed this one. I'm really looking forward to doing the blending, and I can't wait to get this stuff aging with some oak for 6 months or something. So if you liked the video, team, hit the like button down below. If you really liked it and you're not subscribed yet, have a think about doing so. I'll catch you guys next time. Don't worry, I will make sure to get the blending video out ASAP. See ya!